Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our training. I'm so glad you can join us. My name is Elizabeth Glass, and if you have any questions during this session, please go to that chat box, ask away, and I'd love to answer and address all questions while I have you. Post-session, you definitely can still reach out to me anytime. You're able to reach me at my email, which is elizabeth.glass@cbschmidtohio.com. Again, that's elizabeth.glass@cbschmidtohio.com. So today I'm just going to very quickly talk first about what was covered yesterday, then just do some bullet points of what we're going to address today, and then we're going to jump right in. Yesterday's session was Moxie Engage 101. So we kind of split it up like college, level 1 and level 2. In level 1, you learned basics of Moxie Engage, which is your CRM, your client relationship management tool. You learned how to log in, how to update your account profile, setting your goals, the overview, and how to add people. So basically how to get your contacts into Engage. And then also on the agenda was how to do categorize wizard and to put your people into categories. Now, all of that yesterday was a stepping stone that's going to help you with today's session and going forward, because it's actually allowing you to be able to have everything in place before today's session. Now, for today's session, just so you guys can see, we're going to do a very quick account profile review, just because there are two things I need you to see in the My Account section that have to be set up in order for it to function to the highest level in Engage when we get to it within your client profile. So first thing I'm going to do is very quickly show you that. But then after that point, we're going to actually go in your CRM. We're going to go into your client relationship management tool and into an actual client. So step 1 yesterday, getting the clients in there, right? Or your sphere. Now I'm going to show you how to work your client or your sphere client or potential lead, wherever they are in your phase of contact with them, and how to work them from basic contact all the way through to completed deal, inclusive of dealing with your contracts. So you can actually do the entire process of dealing with a client, start to finish, right inside Moxie Engage. I'm also going to show you how a couple different extra outside external tools, including .loop, actually connect with Moxie Engage to help facilitate your deal. And then at the end, I hope we have enough time. I only need a few minutes, but we'll cover campaigns. That's going to be where your actual drip campaigns would be. And it only takes a couple minutes to cover because it's so simple and easy to use. I just want to touch point on where it is and how to set up a campaign. On that note, please feel free, again, like I mentioned, to go to that chat box. I'm going to go ahead and get it open right now, just in case I can see something come in as we go. Can somebody please go to that chat and say, you can see me or see my screen and hear me, please, and thank you. You should be looking at my Moxie, my account screen. Thank you, Lucas. Okay, so let's jump right in. Again, I mentioned this is your CRM. So what's the point of having it if it's not set up correctly or it's not being utilized to the fullest extent? We are very, very heavily using this CRM, Moxie Engage, to take a potential lead and turning them into a client and then turning them into a facilitated closed deal. So to start off, let's make sure your information is correct, because it feeds to both your campaigns, but it also goes into your account system as well when you're manipulating with the client portfolio. So the first step, log into Moxie. The direct login is my.schmidtresources.com. You can always go through your schmidtresources.com through your region and click on the Moxie square and log in that way as well. Regardless, it's going to load you to one of your Moxie platform pages. If you do not land in the My Account section, just simply click on the button in the top right-hand corner. This is your agent icon. This is your portfolio photo. When you click on it, you're going to get a drop-down box, and then you're going to choose the My Account section. So these little things you do one time, it's a set it and forget it. Reminder very quickly that this right here, personal info, contact info, and web info, is the primary base of where all of your information comes that then feed out to Moxie Present, which is your presentation tool for listing and buying presentations. Engage, which is your CRM to work your client and your campaigns. And it's also feeding the information that goes to your website. So if you go through these 3 sections and you see something is not correct, for a perfect example, your display email. I mention this because it might be different than the email you use to sign into Moxie with, or it might be different than your Moxie sync email, which is the one connected to your contacts. It's important for you to check this now because this right here is what your clients or whoever will be receiving your campaigns from are going to see. So if this is not the email that you would like to have displayed on your marketing, simply click on the blue pencil in the top right-hand corner underneath your name. The great news is once you click on that, all 3 sections are edited by that one edit pencil. So please double check all of your sections here. Go ahead and click save. You're good to go. The last thing we're going to cover as far as setup to make sure Engage is going to run properly for you is we're going to take our eyes now to the left-hand screen. We have this navigation panel. Right now we're in the My Account section and we're in Profile, and we know this because it's highlighted in blue. We're going to come down to Agent Tools, and I'm going to click on the down arrow to maximize that area. The last thing you need to check before jumping in to run your CRM for the first time or continuously is this Integrated Tools section. Now, we work with Moxie quite heavily, and we also give suggestions on products or tools that we use externally that we would love them to partner with. They have done so, and it's been a great interaction so far. One of the integrated tools is .loop. Now, for those in Florida, this doesn't apply yet. You guys do use app files for your contracts and your deals. We have had that suggestion put in. We've asked for that to be something that is down the line integrated with Moxie. And that's something that wouldn't be anything real soon because it does take a lot of coding and effort to and contracting with app files as well. But when that is available for you, we'll be the first to let you know. For now, those of you who are in Ohio and Michigan, all you're going to do is go ahead and click right here where it says Connect Account. Takes 1 second. The only thing that needs to happen now is you're going to put in the email address associated with your .loop account that the company provided to you, so not a personal account. For example, I have purchased a home and I have a personal .loop account with my personal email for that account. That is not the same as my company provided. So I'm being specific here because if you put the wrong email, it just will not link the right contracts for you. So go ahead and put in the same email you would use to sign into your company provided login, inclusive of your password. And after you do this the first time, it will then show up for you automatically. Go back to where we were. It will automatically show up as connected in your integrated tools. So it will say connected right here. And it will also say the account address right there. You're done. You don't have to do anything further. It does all the work and magic for you later on in Engage when I show you. The next step here is Zillow. We want to make sure you enable your connection here as well. To do so, you're going to do the same thing and put your email. Now, this is different. This is going to be the email address that is associated with the Zillow one that you have. So it doesn't have to be company related. If you have a Zillow account where you've gone in and actually signed up for the free agent account, you would have had to put an email address in there. For Zillow, you want to use the email address associated there with what they have. You're going to go ahead and hit save. Now this is going to feed through reviews. It's going to pull them in and then funnel them back out to your products and tools. So that's it. That's all we're going to cover here in my account because that's basic set it and forget it information. Now let's dive right in. We're going to facilitate a full-on interaction from somebody who's going to be a total lead that you probably never even communicated with before. We're going to work the sales flow and show you how we've got a built-in integrated task manager who's going to be kind of like your admin for you. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch into a agent account. And I'm going to use myself as the potential lead for that agent. That way, what's going to happen? You're going to get that full 360. You not only are going to get the agent view, which is what you're going to be doing, but I do it this way on purpose because I'm going to flip roles and become the client. And I'm going to jump into my email and I want you to see how what you're sending me and how what you're doing is being received by me and utilized by me, and how easy it is for me on the client end as well. I think it's a perfect 360 way of training on both sides. First and foremost, you're going to go ahead and click on the Engage button at the top. For those of you who are doing this and you're an admin as well, or an ASC, it can actually load a couple different profile types. For those of you who are doing that, or you are a manager, make sure you're clicking on agent and choosing agent mode. Now, for those of you who are agent-based, don't worry about that section there. You're automatically going to load right into agent profile and you don't need to switch or change anything. This dashboard would have been covered in yesterday's session. So if you want to have any review for that, please go ahead and do so, because it's an amazing opportunity for them to show you at a quick snapshot what happened between all of the different people in your client relationship management tool, all the activity, who you should reach out to, etc. So this is a great opportunity for you every morning to kind of start off in your CRM and begin your day and plan it out. For today's section, we are going to hit 2 categories. So please take your eyes to the category navigation panel underneath the main blue one. We see agent, dashboard, people, calendar, goals, and campaigns. We're going to touch base on the people section today. We're also going to touch base on campaigns, but just know and understand that calendar is also connected to Moxie Engage. So whatever email address you have connected to your Moxie account, which is going to connect your contacts, that calendar is also connected here as well and built in and integrated. So when you have your calendar working for you, it's actually going to take this, pull this down in here. Once it loads, you'll actually see my entire calendar showing for me. This is beneficial for you guys because it's linking and merging your company calendar with your Moxie calendar. So not only are you going to have things like trainings that you put yourself in your calendar, and therefore it's going to show you what you have to do for your clients as well when that loads. We have a lot of different people in here, so bear with me when I do that. So I'm going to go ahead again. I'm going to switch into Stephanie. She is currently on as an agent, but usually doing an admin role for us. So hers account is the perfect to use. Okay, so I'm loading into Stephanie. So from this point forward, what you will see is everything in the same way or fashion you would. To start, we're going to go right into a client profile. All of our clients are managed and accessed in the People tab. We're going to hover over People and then click on My People. Now, all of the people that you have in your contacts are going to show up right here. For those of you who are not familiar, you didn't get that in part 1. Session 2 of today, which starts at 2:15, is going to be our G Suite, different applications and tools. I do cover how to get your contacts in, so you can stay on with me later if you need to know how to do that. So here we go. Like I mentioned, she's an admin role, so this is not her agent usage account. We've only got a couple people in here, but you guys will have several hundred. The more the merrier, and you definitely can have as many as you wish, into the hundreds or thousands if you so choose. There are no minimums or maximums. Here we go. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into the client profile. So we're going to pretend this is a basic sphere contact. Okay. And I'm going to navigate this and break it into sections, because right now there's a lot to look at. Your eyes can probably go all over the screen and just get a little frustrated. So we're going to break it down. We're going to ignore everything on the right side of the page for right now. We're going to talk about what's on the left side. When I do it this way, you'll very clearly see where your different options are and where the benefits of using this program lie. So let's start. First and foremost, this is my client's name. We're pretending like I'm Stephanie and Beth is my lead. Okay, so she's not my client yet, but maybe just someone I got an email address from. The profile tab is just the basic information that came through when you uploaded your contacts. If I uploaded Beth and I only had an email, but I later on got more information for her, all I do is simply put this little click here, this edit button, and then I can update this as need be. If later on I wanted to assign her to a label, so as an example, in this scenario, as a buyer, or let's say she's a lawyer, or I want to tag her or label her in some way to help me filter later, this right here is where I would do it, this label name. Keep in mind, we do recommend you do it as you do the upload. So I'll be showing you how to do that in the 2 o'clock session. And then in the Moxie 101 section for Engage, we show you how to categorize as a whole group as well. But this is just if you want to do individual people while you're in them. As you can see, you can add additional information, addresses, and you'd love to add as much as you get it, so that when this person does become a client and they talk to you 2 years from the closing of the transaction, you just take a couple seconds to pop in here and you are just instantly refreshed about all of their details. It helps you just have a great rapport with your client and maintain it. The other thing I'm going to show you very quickly in this section, and I've done a Moxie Monday on it, is this add date. Okay, so right now I know she's just a general contact sphere, but we're going to pretend obviously like she's going to become a client and close a transaction. That's why we do every single person we have. Now, in the event that we have done that, and then we do find out her birthday, her anniversary, we can put those dates in here right now. And what they will do, guys, is they show up on your Moxie calendar, which is connected to your company provided calendar in your Moxie sync email. So that means you're going to have that in all of your emails, so that, in calendars, so it will alert you and let you know when this is happening. Let's stay on top of our sphere and let's let Moxie help us do that. House anniversary is when your client does sell a property. A year later, that's their house anniversary. And it's really nice, and it's a different training, but we have an ability through here, through the calendar section, to go ahead and click right on that person on that day. And it will allow us to send an immediate notification to them, wishing them a happy house anniversary, or birthday. So all of that's built in and wonderful. We're not going to jump into all this now, but I just wanted you to see very quickly where to update additional information for your client or sphere person after you've uploaded them. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. So Tammy says, what if it's a spouse birthday? You can put everything in here. Absolutely. Because you might not just have one person. There's a section when you hit edit where you can add additional people. So yes, you'll have a spouse in there, and you can do the spouse's birthday as well. It's perfect to obviously acknowledge both of them. Great question. Next, common sense notes. Any notes about that person you would have uploaded will show up here. If you want to add additional notes, you're going to hit edit, and you're going to be allowed to do so there. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of why this is my favorite. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of why we have checked so many other CRMs, and this is why we picked this tool. It has some of the similar things that we liked about Zap, but it works better. It's actually nicer. Activity, okay? You can do all the activity you want as a realtor, but if you do not have anybody opening what you're sending them, responding to them, or engaging them, you're wasting your time. You also don't know what is more beneficial for you in as far as what your time use is allowing you to do. This activity tab, okay, it works for each of your clients and every profile. It tracks all activity. So I've used this account for previous trainings, and I leave these here so you guys can see this. But as a perfect example, when you set up a search for this person, it's going to lock it in and show you not only that you've done it, what the name of the search was, and it will tell you when. So you actually have a date. It's also going to show everything that Beth did as well. So when Stephanie emails her, and I'm going to show you all of this in just a second, it's going to show that she opened and received that email. Or if Stephanie shoots her over a search, which we're going to do in the next section under faves and saves, if Beth is opening it and liking things, it's going to show that as well. So now Stephanie is going to know that she's seeing activity in Beth's profile, so she's more likely the one she wants to spend some time on versus Tom, let's say Tom Smith, who has no activity whatsoever in 4 months. It just helps you gauge the level of interest of that individual in person. So this is a huge opportunity for you to stay on top of your business and also be a step ahead. So once you, as an example, if you start to see Beth's in here creating new searches, which I'm going to show you how we're going to do next, you're going to immediately be alerted to that by this section. So as a perfect example, if Beth initially as a potential buyer said, I don't want to be looking at condos, I only want to look at residentials. But through the faves and saves tab, you send them a search and you start noticing that she's not liking what she initially said. Now, all of a sudden she's liking the condos and liking all the properties that are the opposite. You can actually see all of that through these two tabs. And then you can initiate a new search for her based on what she's now interested in looking at. So this keeps you ahead of the game, and it also makes you look very polished, like you're on top of it, and that your technologies are going to help manipulate the system to give her what she needs now that she's understanding the market differently than when she first started. So I do like the Faves and Saves tab. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next section here. And by the way, just a real quick note, you can also filter. So you might get a lot of activity. You're able to filter and sort that out as well. Question that came in said, can contacts initiate changes in save search? Yes, you're going to see me do that right now. I like live role play, so we're going to do it firsthand. Okay. So now that's kind of the review section of how the CRM profile can be used to help you. Let's get into actually benefiting yourself with searches. Okay. So right now, here's my key takeaway from this section. You're probably using the MLS or something of the like nature, right? Some tool or product like that. When you do that, you are not helping your SEO, your search engine optimization. When people go to Google, go to Bing, go to Yahoo, and they're going to type in realtor, right? Whatever area you're in, you want you to come up. Okay. So the reason that people show up on page 1 of all of these search options here is they have the highest search engine optimization. I'm going to break this down, right? What that means is that every time somebody goes to realtor.com, it locks it in the computer system. Okay. Imagine it like a spreadsheet. Okay. It's taking track. It's actually saying a positive hit or a positive point, let's call it points, for realtor.com. Then when that person then clicks on it, okay, then they stay on realtor.com. Okay. Now they go to my home. They now have just added an additional positive point for realtor.com. So basically, every time someone goes to your website, you're increasing the value, we'll call values points, right? And every time someone's on your website and goes to a different page or starts clicking around, that literally tells the search engine that your website is valuable, and it actually increases the value and where it shows up on Google, Bing, and Yahoo. So moral of the story, you want people to be funneled in traffic to your website as often as possible instead of other places. Now, here's my long story short, okay? When you're doing searches through the MLS, they are getting sent to the MLS and you are helping the MLS increase their value. When you use Moxie Engage, you have all of the same intuitiveness, all the same capabilities. It is linked to MLS, so you get no lack of what they can see or offer there. The benefit that you have that I'm going to show you in a minute, this right here, when we use this section to create a search, it will have the same options of setting it up. So filtering in your attributes wise, it's going to be the same. But when you send it, your Sphere client or whoever this is, they end up opening up your website, and every single time they click on it or share it or like something, it increases the value of your website, which increases your search engine optimization, which puts you higher to page 1 of Google, Bing, Yahoo. So you can use whatever you want, but it is a disservice if you have the opportunity to build your business using the CRM we already have. Beautiful. So let me show you exactly how it works. So I've done previous searches on this before because I've used it for training. And I want you to know one of the nice things, you can do as many searches as you want. She might say, if she becomes a client that's looking to buy, she might say, I only want Strongsville residential houses. So I can set up a search that's just Strongsville residential. I can do one that's just for Brecksville, one that's just for condos or whatnot. So you can have as many as you need, which helps benefit you and them. To create a new search, please take your eyes to the bottom right. We're going to go ahead and click on the plus sign, save search. Guess what? You can do this in both in all devices. So that means in a computer. You can also do this on an iPad, and you can do it on a cell phone. I've just done it all 3 versions this week. So you can do it on the fly. You can do this also when you're at the coffee shop, gas station, wherever. So it is mobile responsive. I did see your question in here that came in, if I can make my window bigger. Does that help you guys a little bit? Perfect. Okay. So to create a search, this looks very familiar, right? It's just like your website. It's just like any other place you'd go. You get to pick your categories, your price, your beds and bath, and choose filters. So for this search for this particular scenario, we're going to pretend like she is looking in, now I'm not going to do Strongsville. I'm going to do Mentor, Ohio. Okay. So we're going to look for Mentor, and I'm going to do a price point of, and then you just type in your minimum and maximum in here as well. So we're going to say 250,000, just as a basic thing in here, 300,000. So nothing different so far. Okay. Now we're going to jump into the next section, which is beds and baths. We want at least one bathroom and at least one bedroom. Apply the filters tab. And if you notice, this is narrowing it down, so we're being specific. The filters tab then allows us to choose the type of property. So anything that's highlighted is what will be included. She said condo, so we're going to unselect or click the single family and the rest. Same thing applies when she changes her idea down the line. If I wanted to go back in and now she wants to do single families again, I can add single family. And so you would just go through this and then just fill it out as need be, hit apply, okay? Now it's too filtered out for that particular area. So you can come in here and you can manipulate it as need be. Obviously everybody's market's going to change, so you're going to get a comfortable feeling with your area. Now that's a basic city, right? Like that's pretty big. It could be a big area. So what we're going to do is we're going to benefit here from this particular map. It's connected through our Google Maps system here, and you're able to use these 3 filtering options to very specifically give you the actual properties they're interested in instead of wasting time with all the other stuff. Clicking on tools will allow you to filter or narrow it down by a specific public school or private school for those who are going to move only in the area their school is in. Then you only get the properties in that area. This draw tab, I use it every single week, and I think most agents do. But as you can see, here is my area. If I did a quick draw, we're going to get real specific now. Okay, now I'm able to jump in here. And I'm able to just really use this just like I would with anything else with Google Maps. And now I can say, but I don't want to be this whole area. I only want to be like right here. So you're literally going to be able to come in here and then draw on your area. And click draw, quick draw, there we go. You're going to come in here and say, I want to be in this area of town. You see how I'm literally drawing right on it? And then what it's going to do is it's only going to give me the houses in that area. Of course, I didn't do an area that was filled with properties, but that's the concept of that particular one. So let me do it again so you can actually see some properties show up. This just helps you to be as specific as you want. Does it need to be an actual street, right? Do we need to actually have it be a certain community, a certain development? Okay, so we're going to go down here just as an example, and then it's narrowed it down now. So it went from 7 to 4 because what's happening is it's only including those properties within the circle that we've just created. And you can make this as uncircle-ish as you want. You can definitely include as many areas as you want. But this option here is your best bet if they want to be only on the north side of town and only on the south side, but not in the middle. You would choose multi-draw, and it would be the same concept. So as an example, if they said, I wanted to be north of Mentor, you would draw your circle above Mentor. And then if you chose this multi-draw option, you would also draw your circle or area specified under Mentor. And that way you're only going to get the properties above and below and not in the middle. So it just helps you very specifically minimize it to their liking. So they get those properties that they actually want to see. Now, the cool thing is, you're going to notice when I send this to my client and then she opens it, she has the exact same view and the exact same capabilities. For right now, we're going to take our eyes to the bottom right. And we're going to click email and settings. So I'm going to answer this question really quick. Let me read it. Sometimes properties for sale in my town are generated from outside MLS services. Will Moxie search only show what my MLS shows, or will it show everything for sale? It is connected just through your MLS for your area. Great question. But one of the benefits I want to just mention as far as how things are zoned, have you ever had a property that was zoned industrial, even though it was a residential, so it didn't include it in the right city, and it said it was like in the next city over, but it wasn't coming up in searches? It's happened so many times, and I'm telling you, realtors want to rip their hair out. When you use that map option, what people can do is they can, oh, let me go back in there, gotta start a new search. People can actually draw and include that area that the search by itself wouldn't normally find, and you can include those properties in there. Let's go ahead and do that again real quick. What do we say this was for? This was Mentor. Oops. So same process. And once you do this once, you'll see how super, super easy it is and how quick and easy it is. And I really want to encourage you guys to not just count on doing this on your computer. I'd love for you to pull out your cell phones later on today, and I want you to try to use Moxie with it. I'm doing some Moxie Monday series showing you how to use it on your mobile phone as well. Okay, so we'll pretend like we're all set with our criteria. We're going to hit email and settings. We're almost done. So doing the search is pretty quickly accomplished. So this is the name of the search. This is what's going to show up for them when they receive it. So for example, if I was doing Mentor, Ohio, I would probably narrow it down a little bit more for her and say Mentor condos. So if we were just showing her condos and residential, I would specify that in there. If you want anything more specific, like an area address, you can do that as well. That way, later on, if she wants to see a different city of a different property type, the search is going to be very clearly marked which one's which. Now we have a default message. If you'd like to add to it, you would just simply type right in the box. Now this is important. This is the frequency. So you're setting this up one time. What's going to happen is Moxie Engage is going to intuitively work with the MLS and send out a new search to this person on the cadence you choose here. So if you chose here to have it sent to them hourly, which I wouldn't recommend unless they needed to move like 3 months ago, you would probably want to pick once per day or weekly. Again, if they need to move immediately and they've lost out on 3 to 4 houses on offers, you might want to do 1 per day just so they can stay on top of the market and basically keeps them away from Zillow and Trulia in between talking to you. But if they're just basic person and they don't want to have something every single day, then your option would be weekly. That means every week you would look like you're doing your due diligence and doing the search for them, but really it's Moxie doing it for you. Right here. If I click this, what will happen is on a week where there are no matches, so that 1 week where there's nothing new on the market, it's going to send them an email and say there are no new listings. That's just so they know you're still doing your due diligence, you're still doing your work, and you haven't forgotten about them. There's just nothing new on the market. Again, let's keep them away from Zillow, Trulia, etc. We're done. Bottom right, save and send. Okay, so you can see my searches here. If I wanted to change things later, I can come in here and I can click on the edit button. And it takes me literally right back into the exact same search. So now I can change things from price point, the filters, bed and bath, and even narrow it down even further if I so chose. Your other options here, delete altogether. So now here's what we've done. We've set up a search for Beth Glass. Okay, I'm Stephanie, the realtor. I want you to now imagine that I'm going to take off my realtor hat and I'm going to put on my sphere or client hat. Okay, I'm going to become Beth. I'm going to jump into Beth's email and I want you to see how I receive it from the realtor and how easy it is for me to maintain and look at searches. Let's jump into my inbox. Right there. Do you see how quick that was? So it says new listings in Mentor condos and residential. Again, if I've got 5 or 6 different searches, it helps me narrow out which one I want to open. And it's simplicity. Okay. Basic marketing. So we keep in our marketing for our realtor, phone number, etc., graphics. but I want to make this as simple as possible for all types of people who need to receive information. So for example, some people are super techie. Some people are not, and they don't like it and they shy away from it. We don't want them to think just because we have this great technology, they're not going to work well with us. Check this out. One button, literally one button that says view current listings. Can't get lost. So it's just very intuitive here because it lets them know what to do very quickly. All they do, they click right here. Now take your eyes right here. Here's the money. You guys see where we are? Do you guys see how we're actually at Stephanie's website? I'm on her website right now, but it still has us in the same search. So I just now gave positive hit or a positive value point to Stephanie. Now, the best news is again, remember I told you the more you stay or the longer you stay on a website, the more pages you click, it increases the value and it's tracked that way. What I get to do as Beth, I get to click here. I still see every single thing I would get from the MLS. So I have nothing that I've lost. I'm able to jump in, look at the photos, just the same. I still get all of the information here. So it's all pulled in from the MLS. So again, I don't lose any information. The great news here also, we can have it go through you as the realtor to schedule a showing. We still get to see the virtual tours, all of the information. So it's all here. Again, we have kept giving them what they need to have, inclusive, check this out, calculate drive times. So where do they live? What's the amount of time it's going to take them to get to that property? What's the walk score? What's the bike score? What would their monthly mortgage payment potentially be? See how this benefits you so much more than just a standard MLS page? Now, here's the other thing. The MLS can also allow them to go in and do searches, but it can, through different ways, navigate them to other properties, other realtors. This only navigates them to the realtor that sent it to them. So regardless of whether or not this is her listing, because this particular one's not her listing, it's only marketing Stephanie. So only her phone number and her, and we can't get out and get to another realtor. So it's very, very good for you as a realtor to use this versus the other options. It's also built right into your Engage system. They can call you, they can email you, and it goes right to their website if they click this as well. Now, some other interactive opportunities you have right here. If Stephanie's looking at this, or I'm sorry, Beth, and she's like, I love this. Look at this open concept. I'm interested. All she has to do is click favorite. I'm going to show you where that's going to show up to Stephanie as soon as we're done. I also have the opportunity here to share right from this page. So I can share a link to this landing page to share this property. What if Beth's husband, what if he'd be interested? She'd be likely interested to share it with him. She can also share it to Facebook, to Twitter, and to Pinterest. Now, what are they sharing? The property on the MLS? No. They're sharing Stephanie's website page. So every interaction that they increase is going to increase your value as well. Now I want you to take a look at the top. Okay. This right in here is still Stephanie's website. If they want to come out of here, they very simply can hit close. Okay. And it takes them right back to the search. See how now that particular one is, we'll call it hearted or liked or favorited. The other way they can do it is right here from the home page. If they've already looked at this one and they've loved it and they like it, they can also include their like or heart right here. Okay. It also allows them here to say a comment to the realtor if they like. Okay, we're not replacing conversation. We're helping to narrow down and filter out the excess so that when your conversations occur, what's happening is you're actually spending those moments on what's actually going to move the client forward or Beth forward instead of just basic conversation. So now as Beth, I'm jumping through here. I'm still seeing everything as I wish, inclusive of when it was listed. Again, I'm getting all the same data and information. But what I get to do now, if you notice at the top, see how it's exactly the same as yours? So if I was even confused, which they might not be because it's pretty simple, but I can even call Stephanie and say, hey, I have a question on this. She can jump right into the search from her page and it looks identical. It's a duplicate of what I see. So am I now empowered as the realtor to help navigate them? Yes. But the other great news is if I want to create a change to this search, so Beth, whoever you're sending this to, your sphere, your client, she can say, okay, I can tell that in this market, it's priced higher than I'm able to go for what I want. I'm going to need to change my price. So what she can do is come in here, and then she can come in and change it here. So if she wanted to then change it to 200,000 to 250, because now what she's going to have to do is take that other, 50,000 and renovate when she gets the property. She's going to hit apply, change whatever she wants. Same options here. See how it's all the same? She's going to be able to save the search herself. So if she even wanted to keep this Mentor, Ohio, she could, or she could change it as well, just the same as you. And then you would very simply be able to type in or her. So it's the same 250K. Now hit save search. So just going to type this out real quick just so we can move forward. And now they can actually choose how often they want to get that new search. So very quickly, you've empowered them to help themselves while you're empowering your website value to go up, but you're also giving them the opportunity to now have a new search for the new criteria come. That actually just helped you save time, okay? And don't think this is not going to happen, because your clients are all about the internet. They're all about checking things and doing things on their own a lot before the realtor even comes into play. So we're just giving them the tools if they want. Take a look here. They also have this same capability too. So they can jump in here, right here. They're also going to be able to narrow it down by schools, draw, or radius. So radius is the same concept. I just forgot to mention it before. If I only wanted to go within a certain space area from, let's say, this street right here, it would then allow you to just pull the properties from that. But just keep in mind, because I know for your end, you might see this being tiny. You can just use the plus and minus arrows here to go ahead and change that viewage for yourself. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, hit save search. And I saw a question come in. That is a perfect question here. It says right here, they're saying, why is never an option? Well, maybe I just want the search just that one time, but I don't want to get something weekly. So that's an opportunity to put never. Or if I'm just doing a basic search for myself or for that person just to see what the area is, but I don't necessarily want them to get the search sent to them yet, that's why you would choose never. Great questions, guys. For this one, we're also going to say weekly and hit save. So that's it. That's as far as it needs to go for them. It's very simple. Let me go ahead here. Make this a little bit bigger for you guys. So they also can go straight to her website as well. So they're in her website, whether they know it or not. But if you actually let me click on homepage here, I just want to show you, this is literally her Moxie website. So this is where they've been the whole time. So I just went into 4 or 5 different pages and I just increased her value while I was here. And then I can still come in here and jump in and go to all her different places. So even though that search got me here, now I'm jumping in here and I'm looking at our blog. I'm looking at neighborhood news and signing up for that, checking out other properties. But again, it's just in her system and then checking her out as well. So that is why you would want to utilize it on the end of the realtor. And again, the client view or the sphere view, whoever this is to you at that point, it's very easy for them. So let's jump over. We're going to take off the client hat. I'm not going to be Beth anymore. I'm going to go back to being Stephanie, the realtor. I'm going to click on her Moxie Engage. Now, remember those hearts that she did? What's really nice is when this updates here, this right here is going to increase. So where it says faves, those houses that she liked or hearted or favorited are going to now show up when I click on this, and they're going to show up right here in the same way as this. So you're literally going to have those houses listed so that when you have this person, and I want you to do a real scenario here. If Beth is like, I want, let's do the real scenario. I never want to live in a condo. I only want a residential and I want this much for this much money, blah, blah, blah. Now, all of a sudden, I'm looking through the opportunity of seeing what's on the market through these searches, and I'm starting to realize I can't exactly get what I want right now, and I might need to consider a condo, okay? What happens when she starts favoriting those condos and it's showing up here, she doesn't even need to verbally tell you yet. You're gonna now see that search with those condos, and you're gonna be a step ahead and say, hi, hey, I see that you're starting to look at condos now. Can I help you narrow it down to see more specific which ones you want? And they're gonna be impressed because you're on top of it and you're helping them with their new plan of action. This is gonna happen all the time. So it ebbs and flows. The system is set up, it's ready to go, it saves a search for them, but they can change it and edit it as their life needs, and so can you as a realtor, again, as you need to. So that is the faves and saves. And that is how you start a search. Just as a quick reminder, you're just clicking on the blue plus sign at the bottom, saved search. Now, the next thing we're gonna cover here, we're gonna skip this little section and we're gonna jump down to campaigns. Now, we wanna talk about how you as a realtor can communicate with this person, regardless of where you've ever spoken to them before or not. So maybe you just got their email address from somebody and you have never talked to them. Maybe you ran into them at Starbucks. Maybe you have talked to them and they're your friend, or maybe they're a client. Obviously, this person can be at many different stages. Putting people on campaigns helps put them in your, so basically you in their line of sight, regardless of what phase they're at. So if you see here, there's the subscriptions. They can do a neighborhood news or a listing announcement. I'm going to show you what this looks like and what it is. Then I'm going to show you how to quickly set them up. Now, neighborhood news, just know that's the #1 way of converting a lead to a client. Here's the reason why. I'm going to go ahead and click on neighborhood news. It's just going to load it for you on your end. Okay. Come in here. Okay, so you as the realtor can set them up on a subscription that is going to give them this little newsletter, which is also built in and running in your website right now, whether you know it or not, it's already there. What it does is it gives somebody a local information newsletter based off their zip code or their street. So that means Beth, regardless of whether she's a buyer today or not, she's interested because it's her neighbors, her street. Very personally, myself, even if I'm not going to sell today, I want to know what Joe down the street sold his house for. I want to know what the market looks like in my neighborhood, because on the news and on the internet, I'm hearing all kinds of different things and I don't know. So this is going to connect them in and connect people who are in all different phases and stages. So that way you become a resource point. My point, when you market to somebody, it's been studied and analyzed and shown that it takes at least 3 communications of some form for that recognition cognitive to kick in to remember you and what you do. So whether that's email, whether that's in person, or whether that's a radio ad, it needs at least 3. When you get things like this, if they're getting valuable information from you, even if it's not, something they're looking to buy now, when they are, you will be that resource point for them. So you're putting yourself in the line of who they would pick. So it's lead generation. Let's jump out and I want to show you how Beth receives this and what it looks like. And then I'll show you how to set her up on it. So let's jump out and go to our email. Okay. I already set one up in here before yesterday, just preparing, and it's right here. It says neighborhood news from Beth Glass from Stephanie. So again, simplistic. Marketing is there, just we need one button. Neighborhood news, your source for a real estate market activity in your corner of town. So view full report. Let this load. And again, we have found that this has been the best lead conversion tool within our company. All right, so right in here, it's based off zip code, and this can be narrowed down even more on the realtor end, or even the person receiving it, they could click edit and they can use the maps and even go right down to the darn street they live on and just see that information. But here we are giving them real information. They're becoming empowered to learn the market instead of just hear about it. So now they're being more empowered on their decision to buy or sell, or even price properly. They can choose what's active versus sold. They can choose the time frame in which they're seeing, and they can even include the price. So it's showing them what's happening. So these are my neighbors. These are those people, it's their neighbor, right? So it's Beth's neighbor, her area. You can also jump in here very conveniently what a mortgage payment might be. So as we're seeing these different things, if somebody is triggering the interest, what would it be right now? They can jump in here and do it right from here as well. Now this is going to show trends, okay? So this is real information, real data, statistics. Your people that you're communicating with are going to have different mindset. Some are analytical, they want numbers, they want facts, they want data. Some need to be aesthetic, they need to have figures and graphs. This is a perfect marriage of the two. Market changes in the past 12 months. So these are my streets, right? So not just the market in Ohio or Michigan or Florida. This is my street, my neighborhood. So it's telling me valuable information. And then market changes from March to April, so 1 month. And then you see in here the sold prices versus active prices. Check that out. Median sold prices are 45,000 higher than median active prices. So this helps you understand the market. And the beauty here is that this also is built into your website. So you guys might not know this, but each and every one of you has a tab that says neighborhood news in your website. And when somebody comes across your website from somewhere else, like Facebook, anywhere, they're able to type their information in here, even if you've never seen them, because this is exactly what they would receive when they click on it. This will allow them to then send you a message and sign themselves up for neighborhood news, and it automatically puts them in as a contact in your Moxie Engage system. So one of the tricks is people like to actually use this neighborhood news to reach out to people and say, would you like a neighborhood news for your area? Even if they've never met them before. So even if it's Facebook or LinkedIn or whatnot, that's a safe way without being intrusive of just saying, do you want to know what's happening on your street? Let me know. It's kind of like a CMA, but not specific to their house, but more so for their house. So that's what neighborhood news is. Okay, so let's jump in here. And then I'm going to show you how to very quickly get them set up on a subscription. Okay, easily enough. Well, the first time you come in, you're going to hit add. Then once you do it, you're going to have the option to have two choices. Quick means it's going to be just based off their zip code. Custom means you're going to be real specific. You're going to use that maps and you're going to narrow it down to a street or a community. For this simulation, I'm going to do quick just to be faster. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and say this zip code. If you want, you can always click preview and see what it is before anything happened, and you're done. If you wanted to add a message, you could, but you don't need to, and I'm going to hit done. Now, this person right here is now signed up for neighborhood news, and they're going to get that each and every month. But guess what? It actually tells you when they're going to send it. So as you can see in here, next send on 5/9/22. That's the next time that's when they're going to receive this particular one. And then if you have multiple ones like I do, which you won't need, it'll just show you when those are being sent. If you click on more, you'll be able to preview. You can edit it, so you change it, make it more specific or less specific. You can choose to click send now, so they get it immediately. If someone says, I didn't get it, but then you're just going to come in and do that again, or you can remove it. Now, all of this, guys, what I just showed you, all that searches that Beth received, all that neighborhood news that Beth received, that is being shown right here in this activity tab. So that's it as far as the realtor end for that. Let's go ahead and click on activity. Let my page load. Do you see how it now just tracked everything we just did? Look right there. This is the money. Beth Glass clicked neighborhood news. So now I know she's engaged with what I sent her. So the concept here is that you're spending time with the people who are showing the interest to work with you versus those who are not. Now, I really spent some time on this left profile side because this is really the hub of what you guys should be doing every week. Then what happens when you start to want to communicate as far as a marketing end, we're now just going to jump over. I'm going to show you how to do that very quickly, how to also let Moxie Engage help you know what to do next. So very quickly, I'm going to click on marketing plan. Now we're going to ignore everything on the left. We're going to take our eyes over here to the middle. What's amazing is this is set up in a perfect sales flow. It has 4 phases: marketing, prospects, actives, pending. So marketing is when you're sending out emails or communications. That phase is when you probably never met them. Maybe Beth is just a sphere contact. Maybe you just met her at Starbucks. That's it. Once you actually start sending her stuff, and then you show that interaction, she's opening, she's receiving, she's talking to you, it then moves you into prospects because she's now a prospect. Then once she actually says, I'm interested in buying, and you start looking for houses, it then moves you into actives. When you find a house where she's going to put an offer in, it takes you to pending. So instead of me telling you this, let's watch it real quick. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're in the first phase, which is marketing. Here's Beth Glass. I'm in her profile. What happens is we have a little assistant. It gives us tasks that they recommend for that category. So as an example, it says for in the marketing phase, you should set, which one we already did, and I already clicked on it. Let me do that again. It recommends you send them a neighborhood news subscription. When I have done that suggestion, I click done, and then it doesn't delete, it takes it down to the bottom where it says completed. So ultimately, this is your virtual assistant. It tells you what to do and then what day to do it on in order to facilitate this person moving out of this phase and becoming a potential prospect. So we're going to pretend like we've done all these real quick, just so you can watch me move my sales flow. Set the listing announcement. We've made a personal call. We've talked to Beth. We're scheduling a meeting. Okay, so we're going to go through all of these different steps here pretty quickly just because this is training, but you guys get the gist. So the concept here is once you've done the suggestions, you've made that contact and done all of the things you needed to do, and Beth is now responding to you. What's great is it's allowing you now to then make this person a prospect. So the concept is everything suggested here in the marketing is what you should do in order to move that person to the next field. So in this situation, we have not met Beth before, but we did send her neighborhood news. She did reply and she's showing interest, right? It doesn't mean I have a contract with her in any way. It just means she's showing me interest in properties because I'm seeing her activity here, or she's actually liking things or talking to me. So all I do very quickly is I say, make this person a prospect. Very quick. Obviously, at this point, we'll know if she's interested in buying or selling. So we can click on that and hit done. Now it's manipulating the sales task suggestions specific to a prospect that is a buyer. Literally meaning, here's what you should do next. Schedule a meet and greet. Okay, we've done that. Check it off. Do the meet and greet. So it's very, very literal. But if you have a task in here that you typically do that you don't see, you can also add one as well. So it's still manipulative on your end, working with their system. Create the buyer's presentation. Schedule the presentation. Do the presentation. All of these things, okay? So at this point, once we've gone through all of this, we've done our meet and greet. That means we've done our presentation with them, our buying presentation. We have an interest from her to look for houses. She's excited to work with me, etc. Maybe we're then at this point going to do maybe a buyer exclusive agreement or not, depends on your area. Once we do that, we're now able to jump to the next zone. See this? Actives. So she's now an active buyer, okay? Because we've gone through all the steps so far. And now the new sales task list, schedule the interview, mail the gift, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and just pretend like we've done all these. Now you don't have to click these. This is just for me to show you what happens to them. But ultimately, it's the stuff you normally would do in a deal anyway. And it works with your system. So it works with you sending her an email. It works with you sending out campaigns, etc. All of that stuff will be tracked in here. So now Beth, she's obviously an interested buyer. Okay, now she's showing me through faves and saves which houses she likes, right? So remember this, if she would have went in here to faves and if we would have shown, when they link up, it'll show me 2 or 3 houses. I would then, as a realtor, I would schedule showings for those particular houses. So that way, or I'm talking to her on the phone, whatever. That way, when I've done that and I've conducted the home tour of the 5 properties she likes, we're then letting Beth pick the properties she likes the best, creating an offer, presenting an offer, etc. So what it does now is it lets us move to the next phase of her finding the house she wants and moving now into pending. Now, here's the beauty, guys, and I want to try to keep on time. This is connected to the MLS. So if Beth loves this house, it's on the MLS, obviously that's how we found it. We very simply now get to jump in and just literally type in the MLS number right in here, and it's going to find it within the system, pull it in from the MLS, and bam, all that information is pulled in, inclusive of photo and data. Now, here's where those who are in Ohio and Michigan, stay tuned here a little bit more than Florida for the moment, because when you guys scroll down, here's where .loop comes into play. If you jump in here and you type or click right here, create a loop, and then you jump back up to the top and hit done, not only is it going to pull the information in for you, it's now going to open .loop and create the transaction in .loop for you. So as you guys can see here, I'm able to pick my profile, and I'm able to stipulate whether it's a purchase contract or a listing contract. In this situation, it's a purchase because she's interested in buying this property. And we're going to say create loop. The reason that that part is very important is because each of you has a packet of papers, right? Contracts that are specific to your region, your ABAs, your specific things. This is going to not only open up your .loop, but your paperwork for your office, specific to your office, will be in there and connected. Okay, so now this little guy right here, .loop, that wasn't there before, but now it is. Now that we've actually connected it to .loop through this system. When I now click on .loop, watch what happens. I'm able to jump over here and say visit loop. Bam, within seconds, it logged me into .loop. It created the buyer folder, so it's in the right category. And as you can see now, because I told it was a purchase that we're working on, the purchase folder's in here. So the specific ABA right here for Woodland Title is in here, so you're having the right paperwork. And what happens is you now can take over and process or facilitate the deal within .loop. Now, there's one more connective feature that I want you guys to see here. On top of the connection between .loop and Moxie, there's also been an external connection between .loop and Zillow. Now, what's really neat is that when you work your deal, so you do like you normally would, when the deal closes, or even during the process of the deal, check that out right here. Ask for a Zillow review. You now have the option when closing the deal or during the process, if you're looking right here, to then click that button. And what will happen is .loop on your behalf will then send an email to this particular client, so to Beth, and say, would you like to leave a review for Stephanie on Zillow? Now that person gets to write that review on Zillow, right? So you're like, that's great. Now, how does that benefit you? In the beginning, let's go back to where I was here. Let me close all my pages here. In the beginning, I showed you guys that you wanted to connect Zillow. Well, what will happen now is that review that you did for this transaction is now going to feed and show up in Moxie Present on all your presentations that you specify. And it's also going to show up on your website in your testimonials area now too. It is a full 360 connected marketing tool. So it's amazing. Let me go ahead very quickly here, since we've kind of done the whole sales flow. I'm going to ask a couple questions that I see in chat here. Let's see here. Can I share my neighborhood news on Facebook, Instagram, etc.? Yes, you can. It's great, great, great question. I'm going to go ahead. Let me open up my website here. Okay, so basic rule of the game with your website is anytime you're on a specific page, if you highlight the address right here, you're able to physically copy and paste that right into your website or social media. Okay, so let's see how it has a more option for me, because I have so many custom pages I've made. So you guys all have one that says neighborhood news. Go ahead and click on it when you get to your website. So this is the landing page for your neighborhood news. When you do that, you very simply can just now highlight this, copy it, and then go to Facebook, Instagram, I would highly recommend LinkedIn too. Don't forget that one. And then paste that, and then this will populate. And then you're publicly able to offer neighborhood news to anybody in your sphere. This is not evasive, okay? If they give you a zip code, you don't know where they live. So this is one of those ones that makes people safe and feel more comfortable to use versus something that's more invasive. I understand, because if you tell me you'll help me, but I've got to give you everything about myself, I'm probably not going to do it unless I really know you, because I don't want all those spam emails. This does not give them that. This just gives them that general opportunity to market. Perfect question. Let's see here. More questions that are direct that you guys don't see, so bear with me as I go through here. So the question was regarding to the type of properties that neighborhood news will show. The three options currently are active, just showing the actives, the sold, and then active and sold. So some of the pending might show as active, if that can answer your question a little bit more specific, but there is not a drop-down tag tile just for pending. Great questions, you guys. There's also good feedback coming through that you guys feel like this is relevant and new information for you. Okay, so that was the sales flow. I've showed you how to populate your information, how to check the activity, how to do searches, how to watch what they're searching, and manipulate which properties they want. We've also done a full marketing sales flow here, where we've marketed to them, they've turned into a prospect, we've moved them to actives, and then we went into pending, where it was a closed transaction. It's actually time to start our next training, but I want to show you something very quickly. Today's market is a reality that Beth can put an offer on this property. Remember how she liked this one? What if there's 4 to 5 offers? Is this ringing a bell to you guys right now? And she didn't get it. That's not fair. It's not fun, whatever. Now we have to now take this property off because she cannot continue with it. So it's okay if it went all the way to pending. It's okay if that dot loop account's there and we already did the contract. That's fine. You do not delete Beth. You do not create a new profile. Watch how great this is. This allows you to very quickly go backwards without losing any of the beginning steps you took. So we know that she lost this property because of bids. So technically, I can come in here and I can delete or deactivate this property or transaction altogether. So if I wanted to deactivate it, it would just mean that it's deactivated, but I could reactivate it at a different time. If I wanted to delete it altogether, it would just take out the property so that we continue working the person from there. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to show you one other option before I do that. If I were to go right here into details, and I also clicked on the edit option, I can keep everything exactly the way it is, and then watch this just to make it easy for you. I'm able to take this MLS number out and then just plug it in. Bam, new property, new address. And now all of a sudden I've got Beth in here, and now we're going to do an offer and go forward and dot loop with this new listing. So this is a reality. This is what you do and how you do it. If you needed to go back, take a property out because you lost that offer, again, you're not starting from the beginning. You're just simply coming in here to hit edit and swapping out the MLS number so you can move forward with that new property. If you decided that we want to go clear the slate, she's not going to be buying today, we want to wait another month, you technically can come in here and hit delete or deactivate. I'll do it right now so you guys don't have to panic doing it for yourself. If I hit delete, it keeps Beth the same. Everything's the same. I don't lose the activity. I don't lose the faves and saves. The only thing that happens is when I go to marketing plan, I can start from fresh if I wanted to. See how it lets you go back to marketing, prospects, and actives, but I can continue just to move forward in the exact same way I did before. So I'm not losing any of the hard work I've done, because I clearly don't need to market to Beth anymore. We've already talked and done all of this. So I can just very quickly move through the zones if I wanted to. So I'm just showing you that because I've had somebody panic when they hit that delete button. I want you to know everything's still there and you're still fine. It still works just the same. Couple questions that came in. Big subject in Florida is flood zones. Is there a way to add them in criteria search for custom searches? There is not a filter option for flood that is currently built into Moxie, but we do meet with them all of the time directly with Moxie and our brand reps. So I will ask that question further for you on the best way to go about doing that as well. But here's the thing. My thought would be, as you're setting up a search, so it might not mark it as a flood zone, which might be what you're kind of intending for, because I understand where you guys are at with Florida. But this draw feature and this radius feature can be how you can manipulate different zones and area, kind of like I was talking about before. If something's in an industrial zone, but it's really residential, if you use the draw feature to include it or exclude it, you can do that. The same thing applies to a flood zone. If you know there's a known flood zone, then you can make sure to keep it in by using the draw feature. And then if you know there's, for as an example, if this area is good, or this area is your flood zone, you can make sure to do the multi-draw and just not include that area as well. So it just depends, but I will be specific to ask Moxie directly, because what they do is they then go back to their engineering team. And if there isn't a specific answer now, we do request and put things of better usage recommendations for them to build that feature, which they've actually done for us before. So, and I do understand too, like Florida, you've got stuff everywhere. So that's why the specific question for them for Florida, we need to be asked for you guys, but we will do that. And then the ETA on app files, we cannot give to you because they actually have to work with app files first. So they have to contact app files and then do that whole contract and integration and build and engineering on their end. So it's nothing that would be in this quarter for sure. Again, if we get any updated information, we can do this, but I can be honest with you that we have merged. Realty, our parent company, has actually now taken on and working with Moxie. They're rolling out the entire rest of all of their brands. So Coldwell Banker and all their offices are merging to Moxie, and they're doing a massive, massive rollout right now to them for the next month or two, couple months probably. So I think that's gonna make that not an immediate timeline. It's actually time for us to jump over and do our G Suite campaigns, our G Suite app, but I'm going to show you very quickly for those who are still on, very fast, where your campaigns are. So your marketing campaigns that are built into Moxie, where they are and how to start one. It's very, very quick. So in the same navigational panel we were in, it actually allows us to click on campaigns. You're going to have nothing here at all if you haven't been here before. You have to go into the library. So this blue right here, you have to go into the library and you have to click on the campaigns you want before they show up here. So it's going to say no campaigns. It's going to say 0 until you go here. So your first step is to click campaigns. Your second step is to choose add from library. And it's going to give you everything that we offer to you as a brand. Now we've gone in and sourced them by DBA. So you shouldn't be seeing Century 21 or Sotheby's if you're Coldwell Banker, and vice versa. You should only see yours. Very quickly, just to breeze through here because it's pretty quick. You're able to jump in here if you want to do this 2022 seasonal home maintenance campaign. You can click preview to see it. But if I click on add to campaigns, it's now going to take them out of the main library and put them in my campaign library so that I can use them. So all you do is you just jump through here and then you hit add to campaigns for all the campaigns you want. Once you get them out of the main library, they will then show up here for you. As you now see, 2022 seasonal home maintenance is right there. We've got categories here telling you how many pulled in total. So I pulled over 14 from my library. 7 of them I haven't started yet. I have none that are running. I have 3 that are paused and 4 that I've archived, not deleted, but I've kind of put to the side. The fast, quick, and easy way to get this going is you just click on your campaign and it's all set up for you. You literally just have to add your contacts, hit start, and you're good to go. While this is pending, here we go. So as you can see, it's going to give you a little snapshot here of what each different email is going to be, because most of them are a 12-month campaign. It's going to tell you what it is and when it's going to be sent. If you choose to edit it, which you can, just know that it breaks the sync. And what will happen if you do break the sync, if we update this campaign at the end of the year to be inclusive of the next year, 2023, you just won't get that 2023 year because you'll break that sync. But if you don't change it, it'll automatically update for you and go into the next following year for you. The only step you have to do, since I see we're behind on time, is right here where it says recipients. We're going to click setup, and then we're going to choose add recipients, and all of the people you've added into Moxie are going to show up. So you have the opportunity to individually add people, which can take time, or if you put people into groups or labels like we've taught in previous sessions, you're going to be able to jump in to click on groups and very quickly pick that group. That way you can put it to just basic sphere, or just your attorneys, or just your sellers, just your buyers, whatever you wish, or you can do a combination of both. So we'll get Benny in there. So it now shows me 3. I'm going to say add. If you've now added, like, let's say 300, 800 people, keep in mind that this is going to pend here and be circling for just a little bit. It's not broken. It just needs a minute to pend. The last thing you have to do is hit save. Okay, so now we've got the campaign selected. We've told it who we want it to go to. All we have to do is hit run campaign. If I wasn't ready, I would hit finish later, and it would still be in that main campaign library, at which point I'd be able to come in and then finish it later. You can always come in here and edit it and add more people later. Not a big problem at all. But as you can see now, I have one campaign running, and it's my seasonal home maintenance. The basic information I want to tell you before we jump out of here is when this is sent. Okay, see how it tells me when it's going to go out? We've got one in June, one in September, one in December. It's actually going to give me my open rate and click rate and unsubscribes and specific clicks for that specific email. So it's going to show that to me here, so I know my interaction with that email. But very specifically, remember how we showed you in the beginning, the dashboard for Engage? All the people who have clicked on that campaign are going to show up here in activity feed. So I don't have to go back there and check. It'll show it to me here. And if, let's say, Beth, if she specifically clicked on it, it will then show up in her individual profile in her activity tab. So for example, if she was to open it, it would individually show in her activity tab, which we covered a minute ago, would show up there. So it's very, very simple and very easy. And most people are kind of in and out of campaigns in the matter of maybe 5 minutes. So you shouldn't have any issues here. Questions? Seasonal maintenance for Florida. No basements, furnaces here. Can we text campaigns? So as far as texting a campaign, there's no system that's built in through Moxie right now to do that. There has been a conversation on that. So news to come for that. We've actually got some more rollouts that are happening in the next couple of months that are good and positive that we're excited about. We just don't want to say them yet until they're ready, because it'll get you guys geared up, and it's not implemented yet. Great questions. Can I share neighborhood news link on social media? So yes, we did cover that. So what you would do from within neighborhood news, when you do it in this fashion and you're copying and pasting it right from here, what's happening is you're making people go directly to your website. So all you would do is you would copy it here on neighborhood news, and then you would directly go to Facebook or whatever it is, and then paste it in your post. It would populate it here, and then it would allow you to share it directly in there as well. Great question. And I think I saw a different one come in that I missed. It says, do reviews from testimonial trees show on Moxie? They do, but that is a separate training that'll be done through our website. So that should be, I think, the 3rd week. Let me double check for you guys. But those testimonial trees are going to show up both in Present, and also they show up as well in your Moxie websites. So just because you asked that question, I want to be specific. That session is going to be covered right here. We're here today covering Engage this week. Next week is Present 1 and 2. And then the 3rd week is Moxie Website 101. And your question is going to be answered also right here. Testimonial tree on the 19th. So testimonial tree is going to be on the 12th with Present, and also again covered on the 19th on how it's included into Moxie, 2 different trainings. So make sure you guys check your region out for that. Same link you used to join today. All right, guys, I like all the questions. And I don't mind going a couple minutes over it, as long as it covers great stuff you want to answer. So I appreciate everybody who joined us today for the Moxie Engage session. We covered a lot. It's going to be recorded. Review the video, reach out to me, and I'll continue to answer any further questions you have later on as well today. If you want to reach out to me at elizabeth.glass@cbschmidtohio.com. Now, I appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears. Give me just, I would say, 60 seconds to flip my gears over here. We're going to do our G Suite training here and show you how to use your company provided Google Suite that provides email, YouTube videos, picture storage, and all kinds of great stuff already built in. You already have it. On that note, we're going to go ahead and stop Engage session and get started now on our next session. Okay, so go ahead and just grab yourself a quick drink, go to the restroom real quick, and we'll start in just one quick moment. Okie dokie. All right, welcome back again. There was a quick break, but I want to kind of keep you guys on a good cadence to be appreciative of your time and honor your time today. Make sure we keep as close to ending point for this session as we can. Today, I'm going to cover the Google Work Suite or G Suite or Google account, however you want to refer to it. Now, keep in mind, our company provides one to every single person that works within our company. You may not use it right now. You may not even know you have it, but you do have one. It can be connected to be able to have you log into it and to use it actively. You also might be set up where your admin actually took it and made your company provided email forward to a different email that you have provided, maybe a personal email. That could be happening as well. And every now and then we get somebody who just came in, said, I'm just using a personal email, and they didn't really communicate too much at that time with their ASC because they were doing other things, and they didn't realize they even had a Google Suite account. So those are the three kinds of people. You're going to fall into one of those categories. If you kind of get to the point where you start to like what you see today, and you are one of those people where you're not using it, then what can happen is your local area ASC or RSC can help it get set up the way you want to. So if your account is currently set up to forward, we can disconnect it so that you can use it and also still forward it as well. So just to be very clear, you can do both. You won't lose anything. People worry that they're going to lose emails or capabilities. You won't. You'll just increase the opportunity to have all the benefits. Okay, let's get started. If you can see here, I'm just at google.com. The other opportunity to get in is just going to your email and typing in gmail.com, because even though it's a Google Suite or a G Suite account, it is a Gmail. And by company provided, I want to specify which ones I need. The @cbschmidtohio emails, that is actually a Gmail Google Suite email, okay? Your @cbsunstar, that is your company provided Gmail. Even though it doesn't say Gmail, it's technically a Google Gmail. Same thing with Great Lakes. So your Michigan accounts, the @CB Great Lakes, those are your Google Suite accounts. So those company accounts are already in place. You can access them by just literally going to gmail.com. You can also access them again, like I mentioned, by going to google.com. You can do this on your regular internet browser or in incognito mode, depending on what kind of phone you have or what you need to do. Okay, simple enough. Whenever you're at either one of these locations, In the upper right-hand corner is going to be your profile icon. You're going to have your picture here if you've already entered it. If not, it's just going to probably be your first initial of your name. But what we're focusing on is right here, right next to it. You may not have noticed it before, but there is a Google Apps option right here. This icon are your Google Apps, okay? The same exact thing happens in your email, just so you can see that you actually have the name right here. So this is my company provided email, my elizabeth.glass@cvschmidt.ohio email, and my Google Suite apps are right here, the same location for both. Now, just to kind of really quickly cover some of the options that you have that you might not have known, we're going to mention a couple. Gmail, obviously that's your email, and there's a lot of cool options we have for that. Contacts, okay? If this email is the one that's connected to your Moxie account, this is where you need to put your contacts in order for them to automatically sync and show up inside of Moxie Engage. It needs to be the one that is connected to Moxie, but this is where you update it. This is where you change information such as your password, etc. You can also set security verifications in here. You also have the option, just as a feature you might not have known about, you can actually click one of the options in the account section to where it saves all of the open browsers you have open when you crash or when you accidentally log out or your computer updates. What will happen is it will open up all those pages for you again. So if you're like me and you have like 15 different pages open all the time, it's frustrating, but there is a section in account which lets you automatically manually open up the last ones you had open. Lifesaver. Okay, these options here, Sheets, Docs, and Slides. Sheets is literally an electronic or a digital Microsoft Excel. Docs is literally a digital Microsoft Word. Slides is a digital Microsoft PowerPoint. So gone are the days where you have to pay for a product and pay every month, which is, if you buy those tools now, you might have to pay a monthly fee for them, or it's a little costly. Don't do it. You have it for free, built right into your system. So again, this is digital worksheets through Microsoft Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Now, the beauty here is you can go into each one of these separately. But what they've done is they've created something called the Drive. I want you to consider this your main folder. This is like a folder on your computer. Your Drive is a collection of your sheets, docs, slides, and photos. All of these things individually show up here. So I actually never go into these by themselves. I literally just go into my Drive at all times. We're going to really dive into this in a minute, but I just want you to see as a quick little glance, we can utilize this in many ways to organize our business as a realtor, communicate with our ASC, and also our personal life as well. We'll dive into Drive in just a few minutes. For now, I just want you to kind of get a glimpse of your options, sorry. Photos. This is Google Photos. You're all taking pictures with your cell phone or your camera, and guess what? Your phones are full. I know most of you probably are. Your phones are full with apps. Your phones are full with these pictures of your clients and their houses. Your computer's full. You're getting frustrated because you're all of a sudden getting messages that you have to clear storage and you've already cleared everything out. You just get frustrated, or you have to pay a monthly fee. Now, I want you to know that this right here is a cost you're not going to have to pay for. It's implemented in your system, and there's so much storage here in Drive and Photos that you're not going to hit it. So you want to be able to use this instead. Even though you take the picture on your phone or it's on your computer, you want to upload it to your photos here and delete it from your, let's say, your cell phone. That way you're able to, on the fly, access your client pictures from anywhere. I want you to know that this G Suite Google App System, the only thing you need is an internet connection. If I do them here, that means if I lose my phone, I drop it in a pool, but my pictures were on my phone, they're uploaded on this digital website here, I cannot stop my business. I can go to the office. I can immediately jump into my photos and maintain my business flow. Nothing stops me. I can go into my app, or I can go into my Google Photos through the same section into my iPad and do the same thing. So this just allows you on-the-go connectivity, and it has a full range storage. So those high resolution pictures, you know, those photographers that take those great pictures that you pay a lot for, let them store them here instead of on your computer. Now you have a backup. So that's Google Photos. Calendar. This is the calendar connected to this email. It is also, if you're using this particular email account for the one that is connected to Moxie, this is the calendar that literally is connected to Moxie as well. I'm going to give a quick little preview of it just so you guys can see. The great news with this is not only are you able to use this personally for your business here, but you can also do it as a connection of the two. So your personal life, do you have to take your children to, the doctor's appointment on Thursday at 4 o'clock? You can add it in here, and it can be color coded as well. So you can color code what you're doing for business versus your personal life. Then you can also put in your own personal things. Like, for example, I know I'm teaching Moxie Monday on the 16th because I've added it. But if you also see here, we can integrate other calendars. So that Schmidt training calendar that we all have to work off of, you can connect your local region calendar to this calendar so that it shows up for you. So as an example, here we are today. I'm going to go down right here. This is something that I didn't have to add. It was already added to the regional training calendar, and it's synced with mine automatically, and it's showing up for me. But I also have things in here where I've added what I was doing as well. So it's very simple to use. And very quickly, if I didn't want to see, let's say, if I didn't want to see one of these particular calendars, I could just come in here. I'm going to actually show you very quickly here. Let me get rid of, if I unselect my personals, some of those things, you see how it immediately takes it away. So I can subscribe to as many other calendars as I want to. So your recommendation is to reach out to the RSC in your area, or one of your ASCs or training admin in your area, and we can help subscribe you to that particular training calendar as well. So if you're interested in Ohio, you can let me know for Ohio, and then Michigan to Michigan and so forth. We can get you connected. But here's the beauty. I know you can't see me right now. However, this same calendar is not just on my computer. I also can access it from my iPad and my phone. So very literally every single morning, all day long, all night long, whenever I need to know what's happening in my life, I'm literally going to the calendar here through the apps, and I'm able to very quickly see what I need to do in the morning. If I want to add a new task or event, I'm very quickly able to just type it in. And I'm able to come down here and say more options. And very quickly, I can just say if it's going to be all day or a certain time frame. We're going to go ahead and say 10:15 a.m., but I clicked April, so I'm going to change this month here to May. Oops. We're going to say we're going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow, May 6th at 10:15 a.m. And then also, if I want this to be a video call, like we're doing right now on Zoom, if I want it to be a Google Meet video call, this is included in your product. So I'm able to jump in here and say, add Google Meet with a click. And it's now given me this code, and I can click on it to get into the meeting when the time comes. But I can add information such as location. I can set up a notification for it to email me. I can add as much documents as I want right here. Documents, or I can put in here meeting notes or whatever I want to. So let's just say, please join then. Okay. So here's what's happening. I want you to imagine doing this with your ASC or one of your clients, or maybe a coworker. You need to meet with them for any reason. What you get to do is right over here under the guest section, you're literally going to type in their email, and you're able to then add that person to this event. So when you come down here, you're actually going to make sure this is selected right here. And when I hit save, it's going to ask me if I want them to send a notification to Vanessa for me, which includes this link. And then it will automatically not only invite her, it will automatically add it to her calendar, where she can then go forward and say yes or no. So if you're not a Zoom user and you need to meet with your client, this is an easy and fast way to be able to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Would you like the invitation sent to her? I'm going to say yes. But if you don't want them to get an invitation by email, then you hit no. So as of right now, Vanessa, as you can see, right in here. Let's go. Sorry, wrong month. Let me go into May. I now have a meeting at 10:15 where I can click on it. And I can see right away that Vanessa Lloyd was invited to this meeting. And I'm having 2 guests in here. And if she says yes, take a look. The people who say yes are going to be the ones with a check. So she has not said yes yet. If she says no, it will come back and say she's declined. She can also respond with a different suggested date. So perfect example, we're meeting about Cleveland Clinic tomorrow at some point, right? So if this time didn't work for her, she'd come back and say, how about 11 o'clock? And then I can go back through the same email and accept yes or no. So it just helps you to be very quick and easy with facilitating that. So that's the calendar aspect of your Google Apps. Let me go ahead in here. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to the main page just to keep showing you guys how easily you guys can get in. I like going through this part when I'm training, so it doesn't keep my emails up. Okay, so again, my apps are accessed in the upper right-hand corner. We just dived into Calendar, so you can see how that can connect, and you can connect it to your phone, and it automatically syncs with Engage. And some of your other options are YouTube. You all have a YouTube channel. You just might not have known it. It's ready to go. And the great news is it's built into your email. So to access it, you would literally just click right here and click on the YouTube button. And there are great ways that you can learn how to upload your own video, but you also can take other videos from other people. So Coldwell Banker videos, you're able to showcase those or feature those on your site, on your YouTube channel. So you have content while you're waiting. There's a lot of different ways. I think people get scared off by this, but it's very simple. If you would like a specific training solely on YouTube, go to the chat box. And for those of you who are all in a room together, please take the time to individually send that email to me with all those names or type it in the chat box. But I will give you that training link. I show you how I literally take my cell phone, I record myself, and immediately upload it to my YouTube channel from my phone, and how I'm getting it on my channel. So I want you to see how you can do it live on time. And I also recommend how to, if you wanted to edit it, I give you suggestions on an easy starter beginning editing program that's pretty simple. And then I also show you how to, get the video on there, how to promote it. Also your background images, where to get some of those, etc. So if you're interested in that YouTube training, plug in your name and email in the chat box and say YouTube next to it. And then if you're in the room full of people, generate an email for me before you guys all leave, and then give me those emails in that one email, and then I'll make sure I get all that to you guys as well. Google Chat is very similar to Google Meet, which is just like Zoom. It's just more of a chatting aspect without the video. Meets is exactly like Zoom, just your virtual meeting space. Okay, some people utilize this section here to do some ads through Google. We're not going to really cover that. You can kind of do that at your digression. Google Hangouts is also, again, similar to Google Meets, but it's just more of a communication aspect. Forms, if you ever want to do a survey and you wonder where some of our surveys from within the company come from, we do it right here. Keep, I use literally every day, all day long. It is an electronic notepad. So if you're on your phone or iPad or computer, you can keep notes and bullet points of anything from business related tasks to what do you want to get at the grocery store. So just makes it very simple for you to have a note on hand. I'm not really diving into all of these specifics. I'm going to really jump into the ones that are going to affect you the most as a realtor, but I wanted you to get a quick preview. Kiddos that are in school are here in Google Classroom. That's where they go. But right here, I want to really specify if you're looking for something that you need on the computer, whether it is maybe a screen share, maybe it is a tool that lets you take the picture of the screen you're looking at. Maybe you need a tool that helps you record video, right? What if something doesn't work and you want to record a video of you doing it to show me or someone else that's not working, and you don't have that tool? You come here. More from Google Workspace, because you have the benefit from our company from providing to you the workspace. You have all these options for free, most of them. If I literally jump in here, these are all these different apps that I have access to get. For example, right here, if I were to go, let's do screen record. I know a lot of people like that one and they say, boy, that would be really cool to have that on my phone or on my computer. You're able to come in here, and these are ones that are vetted out through Google. So you feel more comfortable doing it versus just Googling something. I do not recommend you Googling a product and downloading anything from anywhere that is not a vetted out product or tool or company, because they can download adware, spyware, or malware and corrupt your computer from within, and you might not even know until it's too late. So that's an example. If you love digital presentations, we use Prezi on our weekly meetings all the time. But my point to you is that the option might be here. So instead of you going out and paying for Word or Excel or anything like that, or any of these tools, come here first, because you might be able to get it for free and just have it added on to your workplace extension, and then not manipulate, sorry, wrong word, but then go forward and do what you need to do as well within the system. But it's literally endless what is here. So that's just the benefit of using your Google Suite. Now that's the basic point of where to access it right here. That's the basic point of what's involved and what's showing up here. What I'm going to really do is dive into a couple things to help you on an agent basis. The very first one that we're going to do is Drive. We literally work off this within every level of the company every single day. So your trainers, your specialists, your ASCs, your managers, your executive leadership, everybody's in Drive all the time. This is beneficial because everything's also stored online. We lived in a society where we had to pivot from being in the office to being at home, and now we're at different locations, and some of us are needing to go places during the day, and this allows us to bring our business with us. Here's what I want you to think of Drive as. This is your basic real estate folder. This is your collection of anything and everything real estate. But within your main folder of Drive, you can create as many subfolders as you wish. So just like you have on your laptop or computer, you log in, you have all these different files, right? You have different folders. It's exactly the same concept, except all the things in Drive are digital. So I can start it at home in my Drive on my computer. I can stop working on it and it's automatically saved. I don't even have to hit save on anything I'm working on. It will save it automatically. And then when I leave, I can literally access the same document from my cell phone, sitting in my car, waiting to pick my child up from school. So my business works all the time. And then I can jump over to the office later on without anything and just jump in through even an office computer. Since there's an internet connection, I can get into Drive. And again, facilitate business everywhere I need to be. Your clients are on the go, so Drive is intended to be with you on the go. So as you can see, I've got a couple subfolders here. Okay, I've got one for awards, one that says business, one that says calendars. So you guys can really just kind of come in and create the folders that you need for your business. But I highly recommend you take everything that you have currently on your desktops and put it here. It's a safety net for you. If that water bottle goes on your screen and gets on the computer or whatever, you don't have to worry about all of your files frying. Gone are the days of having like 10,000 backups also. What you would want to do is create your real estate folder. Okay, as you see here, I even have one that's business planning clinic. So you can be as specific or as vague as you want. Let me go ahead and show you when I click it open. Let me click on, let's do this one. You have the opportunity now to upload different types of files. So I can upload an Excel sheet, I can upload a Word document, I can upload anything, and it will save it in Drive. Now, I want to be specific to, let's say, Mac right now. Mac provider or users, you guys have other forms of things that are similar, but they're not exactly Microsoft Word and not exactly Excel, right? So the good thing is the Microsoft Excel version on a Mac is called Numbers. You can literally upload a numbers file and it will convert it into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet for you, so you can continue to work on it with everybody else. And you don't have to have that product issue anymore, that capability to work with each other. You can upload it as an Excel sheet. The reason that's so important, most of our platforms require a CSV through Excel. and we're able to convert it very quickly. So when I am, as an example, working on a Sheets document in my Mac, I can upload it as I did right here, and it turns it into the Excel spreadsheet for me. So it automatically converts it. It's automatically digital. And as you can see in here, I actually have the PDF in here as well, but I can also add a Word document. Now, the beauty with doing that is it takes everything that you're working on and creates a digital format that other people can work with you on at the same time. So let me find a file here that has, let's do this one. I think I've done this one with training before. I want to find one that has multiple things in it, just to show you a reality of what you can do for your own business. Okay, perfect. So here's one. In this particular file, I just named it real estate when I made it. This has my business planner in here, so I'll show you what that is, and you can ask me for that, and I can give you a copy of that if you want to use one just like it. But we also have a Word document in here as well. And then I have a budget in here and a database. So if you want to take your contacts, if you're worried about your CRM getting lost, you can take your contacts and even upload a spreadsheet of them here to have them as a backup. Let me go and show you a real live file. Here we go. So I'm going to show you this one. We're able to collaborate and work together. So let's go into, I want to show you guys something specific. So this is one of those Word documents, so Google Docs. So we're able to come in here, and I very specifically, it's the same as Microsoft Word. So I just typed it all out exactly the same. And then I shared this with the ASC. We have this for all brands. But if you notice in the top right, it's the same thing as working with Microsoft Word. So yes, it's called Google Docs, but it's no new learning. Files the same, edit, view, insert, all the different options are exactly the same. You literally type on it as you're in here. Now, the beauty is the difference between this and having it on your computer is we can all work with a live version, just like .loop and app files does. So what that means is instead of me saving this and then emailing it to Felicia, her changing it and then sending it back, and then I have to resave that new version, we only work on the same version. I would come in here and then I would go to the top right and I would click share. So this is one of the cool things. You can see everybody I've shared this with already. If I wanted to add somebody new, I'm literally just going to come in here and add their name in here, and I could type a message if I wanted to. But I also get the opportunity to assign a role, okay? Because I might want just to send something to somebody, but I don't want them to change it. So if I go in here and I click this, if they're a viewer, they can see it, but they cannot actually change it. They can click on a link that I've provided, but they can't change it in any way. A commenter can just add comments, and an editor has full rights to change anything. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to Vanessa. Okay. Now, the good news for this is if Vanessa, she's getting an email from me. If she gets that email and opens it up, it's going to take her exactly to this same page that I'm in. And right here in the upper right-hand corner, there's going to be a circle that shows up with her icon. That way, I'm going to know that she is now in this folder with me at the exact same time. If she was in this folder with me at the exact same time, she'd come in here, and if she wanted to take this word out and delete it, just as an example, I would see her actually moving on my end. I would see it being deleted, and I'd see her in here typing it in. I would see that firsthand. So we're collaborating together as a team instead of going back and forth, and there's no more waiting on the other person to do stuff. My team in Ohio, when we're working collectively, especially on something like this, when we were getting our Sotheby's office set up, I was able to start doing this and build and work on it. And my ASC could come in here and she could click on it and use it as I was getting it ready. So she doesn't have to wait. We can continuously use this to build on. So if you're having anything at all real estate wise that is a Word document, you're able to bring it into here, save it in the Drive platform, but also utilize it in a method that allows you to share it with people as well. So that's just one of the capabilities of Microsoft Word. Let me go in, let me find a different option. Now I want to show you one of each. So I'm going to go into what we call our our business budget. Okay, so my CB planner, this is an example of an Excel document that we've turned into a interactive digital document that all of Ohio uses when we do our business planning clinic. It's amazing. I want to remind you, even though what you're looking at looks crazy, it's super simple to use and you don't have to do anything besides type in a number. But I'm able to pull this up on my cell phone, on my iPhone, iPad, or on my computer at any time. I want you to really think about your real estate business, okay? Google Workspace can help you. You're going to go to lunches, right? It's a business lunch. You don't want to have to do a lot of work later. This actually is set up for you to be auto-calculated. We've already put all the formulas in, so you don't need to know anything about Excel or anything about a formula. All you need to know is you're going to come over here. When it comes to expenses, you're going to see in here wherever it applies. Let's say it's a client gift. Let's do that opportunity. If you are at the store and it's May and you just spent $40 on a client gift, all you have to do on this business expense ledger is you're going to come in here. You're literally typing in $40. And again, we've done all the populating for you. So all the formulas work. And if you notice, take your eyes to the bottom now, it totaled that up for you. So the beauty with using Google Workspace, especially on this spreadsheet, is that no matter where you are, you can access this from your phone and you can immediately put that population number in there, and it's less work from you later. So we break it down to be really honest and raw. Professional development, you've got board fees, your marketing expenses, your technology, your general administration. So traveling, your gas, you're writing that off. This helps you just track it along the way. But here's the beauty here. Most people do just a personal planner or a business. Listen, you are an independent contractor. Your life is involving two kinds of, aspects. You've got business and you've got your home personal. So we don't overlook that. We also do my personal expenses as well. And it's all auto-calculated. So the concept here is by using this, you're allowing yourself to plug a number in as you do the deal. So if you're at Best Buy, you're there right there and you buy yourself that laptop or whatever it is, you're going to plug that number in right away. So here's technology. Let's say it's May. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Right now, I've got nothing in technology for May. And right now, my total for May is 40. Let's say I just bought a laptop, so I had to spend $1,000. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. It's automatically calculated that for me to 1,040. So now I'm able to do this on a rolling basis throughout the year, and I'm getting a realistic timeline of my expenses. So because I'm merging both, I not only have this for tracking purposes and tax purposes, I have this for the concept of being like, I just spent $3,000 on marketing and I didn't get a yield back. I'm able to see that total number, or I spent this much money on technology. It helps you assess what you're using your money on that's beneficial and maybe where you're overspending. Food. This one right here kills us, kills all of us. When you see that number totaled up for you, it can help you really engage where you need to make some cutbacks as well. So this is just one page of this Excel sheet. Let me make it smaller here for you guys. But I want you to take your eyes to the bottom of the screen. Just like any Microsoft Excel, let me make it bigger. Here we go. Hopefully that's better. If you notice right here, this budget tab, it's in green. So that's the tab that is open. We have many tabs. So this is just the budget. If I click on the goals tab, we dive even deeper. We let you plug in a general goal for you want to get to in that year. For example, right here. This year, I want to earn so much money, 100,000. Okay. Again, all this is automatically formulated for you. So you're going to put your number in there. What it's going to do is it works with your other spreadsheets. Take a look how cool this is. It pulls from the other spreadsheet automatically. It tallies it up for you. So what happens is you can see in here, this is what your total goal, and then it has your expenses in here, your additional profit, and then it calculates it for you, my total business financial goal this year. So if you want to make 100,000, but you know you're going to pay this much out and it's going to total it for you, you know how much more you have to make in order to make that your end dollar. Does that make sense? So we just help you make that realization up front. Now let's be really honest, brutal. I want to be successful in real estate. That doesn't mean anything to me if I don't understand how it breaks down into commission and how many deals I need to do for my area based off percentages. Oops, sorry about that. I'll go back over. So this also is a realization of what you need to produce. So we do this a couple of times a year in business planning, but it's great to kind of take a look at it all the time. So as a perfect example here, this year I need to produce 250,000. It automatically calculates the percentage per side, but you can change what you need to for your region. So it literally breaks it down for you based off you plugging in your one number and pulling this in for you, that you need to do 28 transactions this year. Doesn't that make a little bit more sense in your mind of just being like, I need to sell as much as I can and not having a total real number to value or to focus on? So this is just an amazing planner. I'm not really going to go over it too much here, but it literally breaks it down into your listings and your buyers, and it's all auto calculated. So you just plug in one number and it helps you track your contacts, all these great things. The exact same thing applies to teams. So we have the same thing for a team if you want to do for teams. We also have a tab on here that lets you look at your goals, your 3-year goal, your 5-year goal. So I want you just to understand that this Google Suite is just, it's like that saying that I have in my office that says your business grows to the extent you do. Realistically, if you get a handle on your business as you're in it, you're going to have a better time working it and you're going to have a better success. This is just one of the tools that we offer that is already pre-built and ready in the system that you can use. So as a perfect example of how we can use this and share it, if you would like to have this particular business planner sent to you, email me or shoot me and put your email into the chat box right now, and then specify the words business planner, and I can give this to you. And you can even utilize it as a team. So if you're a manager and you want to help your agents, access and work on things and get on their goals, you can utilize this as well. But if you imagine that I'm an agent, what would be really great for me, let me go back over here. Let's pretend like I was on this spreadsheet and I said, Felicia, I really want to hit my goals this year. I want to be held accountable. I need to do it because I let myself off the hook too much. If that was the scenario, I could come in here. Again, we're going to share it. And I can choose to share it with Felicia by very quickly putting her email address in here. If I wanted to just share this whole entire thing with a blanket amount of people, I can choose my security settings down here. So if I click right here where it says share with Schmidt family of companies, I'm able to then change my options or permissions. I can click down here in the drop arrow. If I say restricted, then nobody can see it. It's just blocked and I can get into it. If I choose Schmidt family of companies, that means anybody with a Schmidt family of companies email, that is CB Schmidt Ohio, CB Florida Homes, or Sunstar, whatever your email is, and Great Lakes, that's who would be able to see it with the link. But if I do anyone with the link, and then I click copy link here, then that's how I would share it. But that means that any person that I send this to, so if you had a personal Gmail, it's not going to stop you from opening it. You'll be able to open it. I'd be able to say copy link and then email it to you, and you'd have a direct link to this. Now, typically, the cool thing is if I am in a training and like 5 people get this from me at the same time, you'll see all of them pop in here. So you know exactly who's in here and when they are in here at what time. Okay. I'm going to drive in and give you another opportunity to get something from me today. Let me see if I can find it here really quickly. It's an opportunity to get a resource guide that I have at one point put together. Let's see if I can find it in here really quick. If not, I can look for it for the next time. I don't want to hold you guys up too much. But I do have a resource guide. So if you would like to have it, you can ask me for it. It's literally links that I've pulled together already in here for you to just click on and then utilize in social media in here. I'm trying to remember, it's been so long since I've opened it up in here. Oh, I think I did. Ta-da. Okay, here's an example of how we use this. This is a Google Doc, so technically a digital Microsoft Office document. I have created a breakdown for you for social media, website, and marketing content sources. So I've done all the dirty work. If you want to have this from me, ask me for this. Just call it your resources guide. Ask me for my resources guide, and I will let you have in on this. It breaks it down into blogs. It gives you the physical link for Century 21, for Coldwell Banker, etc., for the luxury website, for the CB blog, for our YouTube channels, for a great magazine to get resources from if you want to share on social media. I give you our Facebook brand. I mean, look how detailed this is. our Schmidt resources. So if you're a realtor on right now and you want marketing content, I did the work for you. You just have to get this from me. You can literally click right here where it says Schmidt resource. It's going to take you literally to the social graphics page, and then it's going to allow you to grab that graphic and immediately put it on social media right away. See how quick that was? So I've done the legwork, I've done the dirty work. If we actually collaborate together using Google Workspace, and you ask me for this, all you have to do is click on any one of these, and you're going to get the content and share it directly to Facebook. Put it in your newsletter, put it on Instagram, put it on Pinterest, LinkedIn, all of that. I just want you to know that you have so much content in what I've given you. You probably don't even have to curate your own. I mean, I even break it down into the brand. So where you can get specific things from the brand. And these aren't general links. This is directly to your product in itself. And the way that I would share it with you, just to, elaborate, is I would come in here and I'd hit share. I either give you the link that I've already provided, or if I want you to have access, like let's say you were on my team, and let's say I wanted to give this to Carrie so she can add to it, I would just type her name in here and then it would share to Carrie as well. So if you would like this one from me, go ahead and let me know as well, either in the chat box or shoot me an email, and I'm happy to do that. So that was just some hands-on opportunities of how you can use Drive for your interactions within your business. And I showed you an example with Microsoft Word, Excel, and also, I don't know the other one I was just saying, but I want to show you really quickly how I created the folder, okay? It's this simple. I click New. So in my Drive, on the left navigation panel, I click the plus sign, and then I say New Folder. And then I would say whatever you want to name it, and then hit Create. So as simply as that was done, I now open that folder right here, and there's nothing in it. To add your documents to it, I'm doing the same thing. On the left, I'm clicking the plus sign. So I don't have to make it in Drive. I can make it anywhere I want. I can upload it to Drive. I would then do a file upload or folder upload. So if you want to do a whole folder, you can do that. Watch me, I'll do it right now just to show you how quick and easy it is. I don't know if you're going to be able to see my pop-up box, but I'm just going into my system, and I'm going to create, click on a folder for AMP, and I'm going to go ahead and hit upload. Okay, and I'm going to choose the upload option. So if you didn't see what just happened, I just went into my folder in my computer. I found the folder. Watch how fast this is. Check this out, guys. Do you see how much is in here? And it was immediate. So I now have all my stuff that I need for AMP all together. So your CEs, think about your CEs, think about your clients, your portfolios, your whatever it is you have, you can utilize this for your own self. Just know that I have, this is also available to any individual Gmail account. So I have a personal Gmail account that is not related to the company. You also have this app system through that as well, but you don't have the additional storage space and the securities that you do within the company provided. But I want you to just think about what your usage is. I use Sheets every day in my personal finances. So when I do my bills, that's literally what I use. I do this every single day working with a company as well. So these are not just something that's cool here to use. I'm telling you, if you use them and start getting in the habit of doing it, you're going to make your life simpler and you're going to get things done quicker with less time. You just got to go in and play with it for the first couple of times to get familiar. So we've covered photos. We've covered photos is just your pictures. You just upload them. It's no different. Then I also covered all these things. So I'm going to show you very quickly now how to get your contacts in so that they show up in your Moxie account if this is the email that's connected to your Moxie account. Pretty simple. On the left-hand side, please take your eyes. I want you to notice that we've got a couple options here. One that says import and one that says labels. If I go ahead and click on the import button, what it does is it lets me tell them what I want to label it. So do I want to immediately group it as a title or a group name? In this role play, let's say, I'm going to say that we're uploading a contact of just sphere, so just basic sphere contacts. What I'm going to do is, you can see it's right now assigned to no label, so I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to then either click on the one that I've already created in the past, or I'm going to create a new label at the bottom. So I'll say sphere. This is going to help you because when it shows up in Moxie, it's going to help you with what you, when you choose campaigns. Obviously, I'm going to send something different to a dentist that I sold 12 houses to versus a sphere that I've never communicated with, right? That's why it's important to set the name or title up front. Okay, once I do that, I'm going to go ahead, click on that sphere. And then what's going to happen is you see how it immediately changed to sphere. But I also can add multiple labels. So if this is not just my sphere list and it's my sphere list in Medina, I can actually click on that again. If I had another one here, sphere Medina, and I'm only telling you this because, oops, sorry, I'm gonna do that again. There are people who say, I need one contact in 2 different labels. This is just a way to assign them to different labels at the same time. And this is just for filtering purposes later. Okay. All right, so now you can see that's in there to the labels, and it's as simple as anything else you've ever done uploading a spreadsheet before. You're going to click select file. It's going to then allow you to go through your computer, which is what I'm doing now. If you don't see my pop-up box that showed up, I'm going to go into wherever I've got all my contacts stored. So typically any type of contacts will need to be on a Excel sheet. It's called a CSV, a comma separated value file, CSV. If you don't know how to do those, your local ASC or anyone on the training team can easily help you do that as well. But our ASCs are great with helping the agents get that facilitated. Okay, right now, bear with me just a second as I pull in a contact sheet. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and do this one. Now, as you can see, I've pulled my contact sheet, and then I'm going to click import. In seconds, it's going to pull all of those in for me. So you can see I had 11 people on that spreadsheet. Now I'm done. My contacts are in there. They're completely already ready. They're in a label called sphere. So now the next time I log out of Moxie and log back in, these 11 people will now be inside my Moxie account. Now to specify, just so we can be very, very clear, I want you to understand that not every Google Contacts is connected to Moxie. There's only one that is. We prefer, it works the best for you if it's your company provided email, like I'm showing you, the @CV Schmidt, Ohio, your Florida homes. If you do it through this one, it will automatically sync for you. Let me dive really quick into Moxie so you can see where to check on your account, which one is your Moxie sync email. The reason I want you to see that is because if it is not the same one as you think it is, we can change that for you. So that way, when you add the contacts in, they will show up where you want them to be. So let me go back into my account. So currently, if I go to my account section in Moxie, I do so by clicking on my name in the upper right-hand corner, and I click my account right here. Remember on all of our other trainings, we talked about these 3 sections. If I click on contact info, it's going to tell me right here what emails are what. Primary email is usually the email that I log into Moxie with, and it's the email that if we send you something through Moxie as a correspondence, like a request to access your account, this is the email it's going to go to. Display email is the email that's going to show up on your marketing or anything you send out. Your Moxie sync email is the email that is connected to your contacts. So this email here is the one that is currently connected to Moxie, and then what that means is if I'm in the contact section of that email, they will show up and engage for me here. If this needs to be changed, you do need to just very quickly submit a Moxie support form, and your ASC can help you do that as well, where we can get that changed over for you. In the future, we're going to have access to do that ourselves, which we're excited about. But for now, just keep in mind, if you're not seeing your contacts filter through, this is how you check what email it is. So as an example, this right here, this company provided email here, that is my company provided G Suite. That is the account I am logged into. So this is my company provided email here, Schmidt. And when I go into the apps within that email, that contacts, those are the ones that show up here that are going to show up in Moxie. Now, the beautiful thing of doing it here is you also can let the contact system find duplicates for you. So look, it already told me it found 288 duplicates. So when I clicked on it through here, I'm able to jump in here and very quickly see that I have 2 of this particular person. I can merge them together in one, or I can dismiss them and have them as 2 different contacts. So the benefit here is you're pulling people in automatically through a label. So as you noticed as an example, when I started doing it, I created and I called it Sphere. It's right here. When I clicked on it, it has my 11 people already. Now in Moxie, I have a group list called Sphere with these 11 people in it. And I don't have to worry about having their name in my Moxie system 4 or 5 times, because when I uploaded them, if there was a duplicate in this particular group of people, it would have notified me at the top of my screen, and I would have been able to get rid of it. So I only have 1 person for that contact in my Moxie list. So that's actually it as far as any contacts and how to get them in. If you would like I'm sorry, I give you guys so much stuff, but I try to be literally as thorough as I can. I literally have a step-by-step piece of paper or PDF I can email you of how to get your contacts in there. So I have it not only written out in text, I also provide you a screenshot of each step. If you would like that PDF of how to get your contacts into your Moxie system, email me and then say I would like the contacts PDF. Please specify what you want, because I do offer so much. I want to give you what you need. So if you want a step-by-step of what I just showed you, please let me know. Now we basically covered everything. The last thing I want to hit on just for a quick second, because we're a couple minutes over here, I want to show you some quick things. Hey, look at that, guys. I like that you guys are asking for stuff already. I actually wanted to show you some quick basic aspects of your email in Gmail to help you facilitate working your business on a higher level. So again, how I got in here was I either went to gmail.com or I went into my apps and I clicked on the actual Gmail option. First and foremost, you guys know more than likely that as you email, you can start making folders so you can categorize and save things in a folder. I'm not really going to go into that because that's pretty much covered at this point. But what I am going to show you is how you can lay things out in a very quick and easy way to help you with the business the way you need to do it. Very simply put, if you go to the settings gear at the top, watch what I can do to change the look and how I work my business. If I come in here, let me click on something that's in my way. All right, so it's letting me choose what my email looks like. Do you have eye problems? Do you have a headache? Do you sometimes need to switch gears based off your phone? This lets you just change very quickly what your email looks like. And you can watch my email as I change them. So that's the default setting, which in the default, I want you to see that you see if the email has an attachment on it. So you can very quickly see there is an attachment. If I did comfortable, that's just basic view here. And then if I did compact, it just makes it really small. So I see a whole bunch at once. So that's all the difference there. If you wanted to change the theme of your email, the background, you could do that very quickly by clicking on one of these options, which is literally just for you. Nobody else sees it. But I'm going to be honest, I do this with my personal email. So that way, when I toggle back and forth, if I'm in my personal email and I have that background, I know I'm not in my business email. It's just one of those little things, simple. Now, here is the biggest change that you're going to make a decision on. Your inbox type. How do you have your emails show up to you? And do they group together as a group, or they come in as separate emails? So I'm going to have you watch my simulation. So right now I've got 46 in there. That means, just so you understand, that doesn't mean I haven't read them. The way that I do it is I actually keep them as unread until they're completed. So I've not only read them, I've resolved that issue or completed that task. If you take a look on the left, the right, this is how I choose how it is viewed. Okay, so keep in mind, I'm starting with 46. If I were to choose the default, okay, I want you to see in here how it changes things a little bit. That means it's on its own categorizing things, what they consider to be my primary emails versus my social emails versus promotions. I don't like this option because there'll be things hidden in here that you don't know are here, and it could be from Moxie as a support ticket, and it doesn't know it, and it thinks it's a promotion. So that's not the preferred method, but it's an option if you like it being separated. I also want you to see the bolded items here are emails that are not read yet or not opened yet, right? In this scenario, it also is showing the emails that are read. So I get everything together. It combines and groups them together So they're all in one. So if you like that view and it works for you, that's fine. Okay. There's also options for the ones that are starred. If you choose that option, they'll show up first. So to me, that would be like, what are your priority items? There's a priority inbox. Okay. So just priorities again, but this is the one that I choose here. Okay. I choose unread first. The reason that I do this, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, because what it does is it separates the two things. I get so many emails that I like to see the things that are still being worked on up front, and I don't like to dig. And this is the opposite of some of the other leaders in leadership. Everybody's different, but it's just based on what you want. So for me, everything that's here, 7,316 emails, I've read them all. I've taken care of all of them. They're done. They're not bolded. They're in everything else. Okay. The way that I do this, when I tell it to give me just my unread emails, it lets me continuously mark it as unread until it is done. So what that means to me is I'm not digging for emails through emails that are already taken care of. I only focus every single day on just these in here, just these ones. So for a perfect example, Tammy is on with us now. When I open this up, okay, when I open this up, let's say I read this, and obviously I've opened it, but I'm not done with it because I didn't respond to her yet. The way that I keep that in my unread inbox, so it's prioritized for me up top, and I cannot forget and I cannot lose it, is I literally come up here and I say more, and then mark as unread. So now no matter what, it is here until I finish it. For me, that is a very powerful thing. And then if you don't do it this way, it's going to blend it all together and you're going to find yourself digging and digging and digging. So that's one good thing that you can do about that option. Okay, the next setting on the right, if you want to have a preview under reading pane, it gives you a preview of your email if you click right of inbox. So if I were to click on that, it gives me a preview of it while I'm in it without me having to do anything or be just in that one email. So that's it. Okay. All right, next. The option on the bottom here is also something that's important. I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of that. I don't like split view. I did not take care of this one yet, so I'm going to make it mark unread so I don't lose it. All right, now here at the bottom, I'm sorry that your eyes have to go to so many places, but take your eyes to the right. Go all the way to the bottom. The last option is called email threading. Now this one is completely up to your own personality and what you like. If you notice, I have 46 emails, okay? And what it's doing for me is it's threading them together. If you take a look at this email right here, okay? You can see that I have multiple people on it. Carrie, Akara, Felicia, myself, and Ed. To me, it tells me that all these people are on this email thread. And it tells me there are 9 emails collected together. And if I open up the one email, it's nice and neatly already collected for me. And if I use this little down arrow, it lets me very quickly group them. So at a quick glance, I can see the entire conversation. For me, that's gold because I don't have to dig through email. And now I get to jump in here and I can very quickly either reply to just that one person. If I wanted to just reply to just Kara's, I can do that. Okay. And if I click on this again, I'll minimize it, but I get the whole entire conversation. That way they're not buried somewhere else. Okay. So it's giving me one thread for all of them. Again, I'm not done with this yet because I'm still working with what used to be the Cleveland Indians, which is now the Cleveland Guardians. I'm working with them setting up something for our Cleveland Clinic Children event. I'm not done, so I'm going to click mark as unread. Okay, keeps it here. Now I want you to take a look and see what happens when I unclick conversation view on the bottom right. So right now it's in conversation view. I'm going to take it off. Okay, and hit reload. Don't worry, you can change it back. Don't freak out. Take a look at how many inboxes emails there are. It has now separated it from the 46 or whatever it was to now 83 different emails. That makes my head spin. It's the exact same emails, but now instead of them being put together in one thread, you can see right here, this is all one thread. All this stuff was one thread, but it's in an individual email. So if you've read, for example, if I read Judy's, and it would not be there for the next time, Carrie's would show up. So some people like this option because it helps separate it a little bit more if you don't like the conversation view. But for me, I feel like conversation view minimizes my number of emails and it helps me not have to dig. As an example, to use what we just looked at, this one right here was one of the emails in that thread. This is a different one of the emails in that thread. And honestly, they're got to go up to the next set. You click over here, it takes you to all of the unread emails here. And then I'd have to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig to try to find it. So I'm going to change it back. I want you to see how it quickly goes right back into that view. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Right here. The very bottom, I'm going to click for it to be back into conversation view. And this is your own preference. There's not one way that's right or wrong. It's just what does your particular personality hover back to. But now you can see it's 46. So to me, that just relieves like twice my stress. I have half the amount of things that the other one made me feel like I had to do, because in full reality, I only have 46 I'm working on, and my conversations back together as a grouping. And when I click on this little arrow at the bottom top, it helps me to minimize so I see the whole conversation, or I can expand it to just see individuals. So it makes it very simple for me. So that's the basics of your email. The only other thing I would request that you guys would take a peek at, when you go to settings, and you click see all settings, just kind of take a peek to see how things are set up for you. So as an example, the general column here, if you wanted to send an out of office reply, you can scroll down, and that's where we actually do it from. So right here, you're able to put out of office and put the dates and say I'm out of, just like I did here. The last time I was out of the office and returning January 4th. So it lets you communicate, and then it tells you you get to pick the day it starts and the day it stops. If you want to have an email signature like I do, this is actually where you would add it in here. If you don't currently have one, the marketing team can help make you one. Some of the other things that are just beneficial is those label names. You probably don't ever need to use this, but this is just where they all show. There's some options for your inbox, just a different way to access the settings I already just showed you. Accounts. If you wanted to create an alias account, which means if I, as an example, I have one right now, my account email is elizabeth.glass@cbeachman, Ohio, but I also want to send messages to Sotheby's as well, and I don't want to have to change my email. So I was able to create an additional alias email. So when I send emails to Sotheby's, I can very quickly grab my Sotheby's account, and it will showcase my information for Sotheby's and not Coldwell Banker. So if you want more information with that, you can also check with your local ASC or RSC. They can help you do that as well. Filtering and blocking. This is how you can also make sure some things go directly to your spam. If you are interested in having an email forward to this email or this email forward out to another one, this is the area you would actually do it in. So you would add the forwarding address here simply by typing in the email address there. So that's basically the basis of your settings when you're in here. If you guys have any further questions on anything within the Google Maps or Google Workspace, that's what it's supposed to be, Google Workspace, not Google Maps, sorry. Definitely reach out to us, because we've kind of just glanced over everything, but we could probably take a deeper dive into each platform. As a quick reminder, we've covered our Gmail access. I've showed you how to put contacts in. I've also showed you within Drive how to utilize Sheets, Docs, and slides. Photos are in there as well. I've also showed you how to utilize the calendar. I've let you know that we do have training available if you want to use your YouTube account. And if you have something that you don't have something that you need, you then also can come to the bottom and click on More Workspace Marketplace, and you can get an additional tool as well built right in. So keep in mind, this is all kind of in the works. So if you're just now a new agent and starting off, we're willing to jump in and help you get connected. If you've been in the business for a while, we still have the same feeling. If you've never jumped in, you've been here for 14 years, I don't care how long you've been here. I'd rather show you now how to get set up so that you can work your business the way that you need to. So don't feel like you can't come to us because you've been with us for a while. I do have some agents who say they're embarrassed, and I just want you to feel like you're definitely able to come to us at any time. My name again, Elizabeth Glass. You have plenty of things you can request from me throughout the next couple of days. If you have any questions, please jump in and put them in the box. I do have 5 new messages, so bear with me. I'm going to go through and read them. Perfect. Lots of direct comments too, so give me just a second. I love the interaction. Okay, so some requests for YouTube for all that. Perfect. Love the form. Perfect. So I can share. The question was, can I share the form with Florida? But I do want specific emails to send it to. I don't want to send it to the entire region. So if you can shoot to me an email with specific emails that want that form, I'm assuming you mean the budget. If I'm not, either the budget or resources, make sure you specify to me which one. That way I can be sure to get you everything. Okay, like Carline said, send me everything. That works for me too. I can just do one email with everything. Okay, perfect. Next question. Is that something you will be discussing with Moxie, how to prevent duplicates? So that's been an ongoing conversation. There is not a deduplication process in Moxie because they created it intentionally to work with Google Contacts. That is the intention. That's the way the product was produced. So you deduplicate in Contacts versus in Moxie. Granted, if you already have everything in Moxie and you didn't know that, you could still go in and delete things within Moxie. But that is the way the product is designed, is to deduplicate in Contacts instead. They actually run and work off Google Workspace as well. That is why. Okay, so the budget form, perfect. So I think I got a lot of questions. There's a lot in direct. So if I did skip over yours and I didn't see it, please email me directly and I'll give you private attention on making sure you guys are all set. On that note, that's been a couple of hours for me of doing Moxie Engage 201 and then our Google Workspace. I definitely appreciate your time. I value your time in wanting to grow your business with us here today. I'm happy to help you anytime, any day. A lot of times I have set hours, but I still answer at weird random time in the evening. So even though I say I have set hours, I still help you at any time. I appreciate you guys so much. And we will see you on your next training. Please jump into our settings next week, or our trainings next week, while we cover, I believe it was Moxie Present. Thank you guys so much, and you have a wonderful afternoon and the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Have a good one, guys. See you guys later.